Hello, it's Stacy here, and I am here with the wonderful Tricia. Hi, Tricia.
So good to see you.
Yes, it's so wonderful to have you here. And you ladies are in for a treat because Tricia has a beautiful story. She's a beautiful soul, and she is such an amazing witness to what is possible for you. And that's why we share these stories because I know it's hard. It's like you can read something, you can hear something, but it helps so much to connect with someone who's been through it. They've had the beat down, they've done the work, and they've come through into the light on the other side. So we're going to talk to Tricia about her story here. So tell us, Tricia, before you started coaching, what was going on? What was that struggle in your career, in your life?
I worked in a corporate office for a women's retailer. I had been working on supplies and visual merchandising, and it was a very, very demanding job. For the past couple of years, our company had been struggling. And unfortunately, then once COVID hit, even though we were basically giving our life's blood, it felt like, because we all saw the possibility in the company. We strove super hard to try to connect with our customers and everything. But at the end of January, they let us all know that the company was basically filing for bankruptcy and was going to close by the end of February. So then, as part of the store ops team, they let me stay on so that I could help liquidate the stores, which is another absolutely insane experience that I don't wish anybody to have to go through. So it was a very frustrating and scary time because I had no idea what the future held, nothing at all. I wasn't sure. And I was getting more and more stressed out as our final days came up. And just once it finally hit that I was done, um, huge emptiness, just like I just didn't know what to do. I was completely lost. I was a hot mess. Um, Lots of crying, lots of binge watching TV, probably a little bit too much alcohol. But yeah, and I was scared. I was really scared to take the next steps of, okay, now I have to find something else. What am I going to do? But I felt like it came from this place where I was feeling so burned out, and I felt like I wanted to do more and I wanted to be more, but I had no clue what that was, and I had no clue how to go about figuring that out. I just felt lost. And again, I when I kind of looked at job search stuff, it was all scary. And one of the biggest fears was I don't want to go back into a job that was just like the one that I had, because I was so burned out and I just felt like I was being horrible to my husband and I wasn't being present with my friends and stuff. So I wanted something else. I wanted something different, but I just didn't know how to go about doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. And, it's interesting because we tend to numb out and we tend to just keep doing what we're doing until that pain gets too great. And so what was some of that cost to you? How was it really negatively impacting these areas of your life?
So I know that, again, I felt horrible for my husband of having to deal with me, because I just felt like I was an awful person. I was just angry and short, and it felt like a cycle of going back and forth between being angry and then being depressed and just crying. And and then of course I have family and friends who are trying to be supportive, which was awesome, but at the same time it felt very limiting. It's because they didn't know exactly how to help either or what to do necessarily. um so yeah, it and I didn't want to get out of bed in the morning. It was one of those things where it's like I wanted to keep the covers over my head, and I'm like, it doesn't really matter if I get out of bed, because what's going to happen? Nothing. So I might as well just give up and stay in bed all day. Or like I said, I ended up watching lots of Netflix and stuff and just zoning out by watching TV, trying to feel better, trying to feel something, I guess, in a way too, because I was trying to numb out and ignore everything. So yeah, it was not a good time at all. Yeah. And I don't want anybody to ever have to go through it. I know people do, but I prefer them not. So yeah, it was really tough. And I do feel like there was so much darkness, if that makes sense. I just felt a lot of darkness, and yeah, just pushing, and I was pushing people away a little bit too. I didn't want to necessarily when people would talk about stuff, I just wanted it to go away and not talk about it either and not get it out. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And what were those thoughts that were going on in your head? What kinds of things were you saying to yourself?
Well, since I was the queen of beating myself up, there was it was constant. That's the thing that I've always struggled with, is I've always had this self-doubt about what my capabilities are and what I can do. So I kept saying, well, you're not going to find a job, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough. Everybody else that you're looking at on LinkedIn is all put together, and they're saying the perfectly right thing. They look perfect, their pictures are perfect, everybody looks great. What have you been doing? Nothing. Like, so you're not going to get another job, you're not going to get a good job, you're just going to get this job. Like, that's what your future is. Basically, that everybody else is smarter than I am. Yeah, I mean, it goes on. Like, of how mean I was to myself, which is completely ridiculous and awful. But it was constant, it would not go away. So it was just, and again, it's one of those things where, again, because of the constant nagging, I didn't want to get out of bed. It was too much, it was too heavy, and it's like, and again, nothing mattered, so I just kind of gave up on everything.
Yeah. What made you decide that you were ready to get the right help?
Because deep down inside, I knew that there's something more for me. There had to be something more for me. Like, it's hard to explain. Part of it, I will say, is that I felt like the company closing was a sign from the universe to me. Like, that I had been going down, because I had worked for them for about 10 years. So I had been going down this path of work, 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 and not feeling like anything was coming from it. But I'm a hard worker, so I would put everything into it, and I love my job. And I guess I can't say necessarily that I love my job, but I love helping and doing things and being there for people. So that was what I threw into the job, but that's not necessarily what I got back. So I was getting to a point where I was getting super burned out and just super stressed. Like, at the end of the day from work, I was just exhausted and didn't want to do anything. Even though I've got hobbies and stuff like that, it's not like I wanted to do anything else. I just wanted to have dinner, and basically, and that's what I saw my cycle as: of have dinner, sit down, watch TV, go to bed, get up, do it again. And it's just this monotonous pattern that was going on. So it just, yeah, not good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was something that you had not been successful at changing on your own.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. Because, and that was something else that I had gotten on reviews at work, was that you need to build up your self confidence. You're not confident enough. And everybody says it, like, you need to be more confident. Like, this is, you just, don't have enough confidence, but nobody tells you how to do that either. They just expect you to do that. So I did get to a point finally where I was like, there has to be something else, something more. Obviously, again, universe totally, like, is sending me a sign that something needs to change. Now I just have to figure out how to go about doing that. And to be honest, that's when I'd been on the, social media, I'd been on internet looking at stuff, and that's when a webinar for you had popped up. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to watch this webinar. And of course I had total doubts, as everybody does, where it's like, yeah, whatever, this isn't gonna, it's just one of those webinars. They're just trying to, like, sell you on something. It's like not that big of a deal, whatever. But then as I'm watching it, it was like, you were speaking directly to me. Like, everything that you said, I was like, oh my gosh, like, is she, like, reading my mind right now? How is this working? Like, how does this work? Because she's hitting every single point of what I want to do, who I want to be, where I'm at right now, how I'm stuck, how I'm struggling. So, and I took my from another program that I have for working out. They talk about 20 seconds of courage. And so that's what I did, was I took my 20 seconds of courage and I signed up for a phone call with you guys. And then after that, then things got much better.
Hmm. Yes. So tell me about the things that you started to discover, things that started to change for you throughout this kind of breakthrough journey.
how much time do we have? Because it's a long list of things. Um, so the mindset work that we do, oh my gosh, there's so many things. It's about acknowledging your negative pattern that you're in and breaking that pattern. That was the first thing, was getting rid of going, okay, I'm spiraling into, I suck, I'm never going to do this, I'm horrible, I'm not good enough. And right away you were like, you need to stop. And I'm like, you're right, I need to stop. So it was learning how to pattern interrupt first, and then doing the reframing and feeling that reframe in the inside. That's when things really started changing for me. And all of a sudden, it's crazy. Like, I unleashed, like, as you know, I unleashed like a whole bunch of stuff that I wasn't expecting to unleash. Like, all this creativity that I feel like I had been repressing for the longest time, like, all of a sudden just came out. And I started being a lot lighter and a lot happier. And then again, when I was hanging out with friends, I could be more present with them instead of, drifting off thinking like, okay, again, I suck. How am I going to do this? Stuff like that. Like, I was able to be me. I finally unlocked me, is what I felt like.
Yeah, that was huge. And
It was huge.
for you to go from dark and heavy to what we named you, right? Exuberant
Yes,
Tricia.
Trisha the exuberant. So
Yes. Yeah, like complete just change, like coming to life.
and for the nerds out there like myself, I started seeing it at the beginning as my epic battle of dark versus light. Like, I felt like there was that dark side that was just sucking me in, and now that's kind of my origin story. I had my superhero origin story. So I was going from there to now it's my epic journey of finding the light, and how am I going to find the light, and what's going to happen. So, and how can I defeat the darkness?
Yes, yes. So tell me about, let's do maybe your top three outcomes, the three really, really important things that you gained.
The those stupid voices that were in my head for so long, where all I would basically pray for was quiet and peace. I have that. Like, I actually I don't even know how it's possible, but I have that. So, which is amazing. I can't say that it's not like they never creep up or they never pop back in, but I have the tools now to actually defeat those suckers, which is just amazing. So to actually have peace in my mind so that I can actually focus and do stuff and be productive is just amazing. So that's definitely one thing. Um, the second thing is, I have to say, I am beginning to really embrace not giving a heck of a thought about what other people think about me. I used to be such a people pleaser as well. And not that I'm not, I still want to make people happy, but now I feel like it's more on my terms than it is on their terms. So, and if somebody doesn't like something, sorry, like, this is me, this is who I am, and you can either accept it or not, but I'm not changing for you. So that was another great outcome, I think, was being, because I was so hung up on what other people would think of me, and now I could actually break free from that, which was amazing. So, and again, not like stuff doesn't backtrack a little bit, but still, again, I have the tools to kind of push that, aside. So that was really great. And then I guess the third thing is that I feel like I'm on a true journey to discover my purpose of what I'm supposed to be doing. So, and that's exciting and terrifying at the same time.
Yes. Yes. Yes, that real clarity for you as to, we answer the question of what's next for you. Do you want to share a bit about that as to what you saw in your blueprint and how that led you to what you're doing now in your career?
Sure, most definitely. Yeah. So the blueprint the blueprint is an amazing tool. And at first you will hate the blueprint, but the blueprint, you just will, and you won't understand. You'll be like, this is a lot of work, and why? But trust the system, do the work, and you will all of a sudden, all this, and it won't, it's so funny, you build it up over time, but there does feel like there gets to be a point where there's almost an aha moment when all of a sudden the clouds part and the sun is shining, and you're like, okay, that's where things have been pointing this whole time. So yeah, the blueprints, certain things kept popping up. My creativity kept popping up. Helping people for sure was like one of the number one things that I wanted to do. Organization was another thing that kept popping up. So those were the three main things for me that I had to figure out which route I wanted to take to make that happen, because they were just so strong in my blueprint and my must have criteria that I could not ignore them. So yes.
I love that.
It's amazing to get that clarity.
Yes. So now tell us what you're doing now.
Yes. So yes, I guess I should say the other part was that I kept falling back to the idea of becoming my own entrepreneur. Was the other thing that kept popping up on my blueprint. So I kept tossing around the idea of, do I want to start my own business? I don't know. I don't know. But then, yes, after going through everything, I have a coworker that from the company that closed, that we worked so well together, and we have such our strengths and weaknesses balance each other out very, very nicely. So we have started our own design organization and styling company is what we have, so that we can help people have their spaces that they live in, they become these beautiful spaces that they can live their best life, because they come into something that they just absolutely love. So we help out with design in the home, but then we also help out with organizing so that they can have these great systems in place and this clean, organized, whatever space that they want, so that again, they can live their best life, so that they have less stress. We're trying to create less stress for people, more beauty for people, because life is beautiful and everybody needs to experience it regardless of who they are. So, and sometimes you just need help reaching that. You can't always do it. You can't always do things on your own. So sometimes you need help.
That's right. Oh, I love that. And this is so great too, because it's not like oh, well, maybe I'll do that someday, but the business is already alive. You've
Oh yeah.
already had a client, you've got proposals out there, you've got your packages done. The website is days away from being officially visible, and it's alive. It's alive already.
It's totally, and it's so funny because it felt like with the blueprint and with the going through the program and everything, that I think I wanted that permission. I wanted that permission
Yeah.
so badly. And that's the nice thing about going through the program and having the blueprint, is that you have these facts. Like, it's not just, oh, someday I dream about this. Like, you have facts in place supporting your decision. So it doesn't feel like you're taking this like unnecessary crazy risk that everybody has to worry about you. You
Right.
feel like you have actual like a foundation to work off of, so that taking the next steps then became easy. It was like, oh yeah, all right, let's just jump in and do this. Even if we
Yeah.
don't have everything set, not everything is in perfect place how I'd like it to be, but it doesn't matter because we're doing it. So
Yes. Yes, that's exactly it. It's not a guess anymore where your power is given over to external influences. This is no, it's I have my data, I have my input, and it correlates to a specific output. And so now I can make the best decision possible for myself, and I can continue to manage that, to navigate it for the rest of my life.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Yes,
It's
I
fun.
love it. I love it. So tell me, for you then, and what you would think about, and sharing with others too, is why was coaching worth the investment for you?
Oh my gosh. I don't know if I can say enough good things about it. Like, I truly wish that everybody could do this. It was so worth the investment, because again, I feel like I've shed this old self or this old skin, and now I'm stepping into my new self, and she feels fantastic. And I don't want to go back to that old self. But again, it was not something I was struggling for so long. I couldn't do it by myself. So that's why doing this and investing in myself, like I feel like there's so much more open to me now. There's so much more opportunity everywhere. There's so much more openness that I wouldn't have had. I had myself so closed off, but taking that one step and investing in myself for that, I feel like things are infinite. And I can't say again, not every day is going to be like a super positive, like you're not going to feel like that every single day, but it you have this path, and again, you have the tools on how to keep going and how to keep moving and make things better. So it just, it's going to get you where you want to go. It's going to get you
Good.
where you want to go.
Good. And so what advice do you have for people who might be watching, and who are struggling in the same type of situation that you were in?
I totally understand. It's tough. It's difficult. You are going to have so much self doubt at the beginning. You're just going to not even, yeah, you're just going to struggle. You're going to doubt. You're going to second guess yourself, but do it. Just do it. Like I said, do the program, trust the system, and you're going to be amazed at the results. Like you are. And I have to say that's something that, and it's not just for me, on the calls that we have, it was so great to see all of these beautiful women and people like coming out of their shells and seeing what they have available to them. And everybody's different. That's like the
Mhm.
awesome thing is everybody's doing their own path. Nobody is following the same path, but you see them and you see their light come on, and that's the amazing thing about this. So do the program so that you can see your own light come on is basically what I'm going to say, because you want to see that light, like you have it to share. It's there for a reason. One of the quotes that stays with me all the time is God didn't create junk and he didn't start with you. And that's one thing that I still stick with all the
Yeah.
time. Whenever I start getting really low, I'm like, you know what? No.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. And it's the ripple effect too. I'm sure you've seen the way that it flows out to, I'm sure your husband notices a big difference,
Yes.
family, friends, the ripple effect. I mean, there's so much to this. We're not just talking about a job, we're talking about your life changes and that flows out to people that you love.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Well, and the other cool thing is too is if you're going to have people in your life that are going to doubt you still as well or push back on what you're doing. But again, with all of the foundation work that you've done, you can answer all of those questions and slay all of those dragons without a problem. Like that's
Yes.
the nice thing. You've got this rock that you can now build on and keep going.
Yeah. You've got super ninja skills that keep you above the line of suffering.
Yep.
You feel like you're in control, you're in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
And no matter what happens, you know who you are, you love who you are, you know what you want, you know how to get it.
Yeah. Definitely.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tricia, for sharing your story with us. I
Thank you.
so appreciate it. I know it's going to help a lot of people, and I just love what you're doing. It's absolutely fantastic. And I'm very grateful that we have come together along this journey.
I am too. I am so grateful for everything from all of your help and Brooke's help and everything. Like the program again is just amazing, and I'm so glad that our paths have crossed.
Yes. Awesome. All right, my dear. Thank you so much. And we'll talk to you again soon.
Sounds good. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.